And it's time for the next matchup in the Cheap Lager Championship. And we have got the, well, we're in the bottom half now. Let's have a look at the table. So here is the bottom half. And the bottom half, we got it underway, didn't we, with the first two beers, which was the Skull against the Ashfield Lager from Tesco. And the Skull didn't have a lot of flavour really, but it had a little bit. But the Ashfield Lager was better. It had a bit of an aftertaste. It did taste like a lager. It had reasonable complexity to the flavour, which is surprising, especially considering the price of it. And the Ashfield Lager was a worthy winner and went into the quarter-finals. And now, what is it going to be up against? Well, let's have a little look at the two contenders for the next round, or for the next matchup. So, we have got Carter's, which is Aldi's version of Carling, I think. And we have got Amstel. Which is Amstel. But Amstel, I didn't think Amstel would actually make it into the championship, but it was £4 for 4 cans, and they're 3.4% ABV, so it fits all the categories. So Amstel is officially a cheap beer on a par with Foster's and Carling and Carlsberg and stuff. I always thought Amstel was okay, but it'll be interesting to see, because I'm pretty sure when I last had Amstel, it wasn't 3.4%. So it'll be interesting to see whether this has now got any flavour, or whether they've taken down the ABV and taken all the flavour out of it, like they have with so many other beers. So there we go. We've got the Amstel, we've got the Carters. Let's get them cracked open. Let's get them poured into glasses. Okay, beers poured, and one has given, well, it gave more of a head than the other, but they are dissipating quite quickly on both of these. So I've no idea which is which out of these, but I'm sure there's some people at home who'll want to know which is which. So this is which one is which. Okay, that was which one was which. Now, let's have a little look at these. So we'll have a look at them first, and we'll see if there's anything that's a bit more in this one than there is in this one. This one is looking a little bit lighter than this one, I would say. Yeah, we poured it not quite equal measures, but it doesn't really matter. Yeah, they're very similar colours. I'd say this one's a tiny bit more light than this one. They've both got a bit of amber in the colour there. This one's got significantly more bubbles rising to the top there. This one hasn't got many bubbles at all rising to the top. So that'll be interesting. We're judging by the head. It looks like they've already flown up to the top anyway. What can I say? Well, there's not much else to say about how they look. They both look very similar. They're both quite clear. They've both got, yeah, they're both similar colour. This one's a bit lighter. Let's get the nose on this one. Ooh, that's interesting. It's getting Hellas vibes on the nose there. Get a nice bready maltiness on that one. It's a bit of a bready maltiness. A little bit of metallic in there. If it is a Hellas, it's not the best Hellas. A little bit, yeah, a little bit sweaty. But we are getting some brown bread in there. I mean, again, you get some great noses on these things, but it's always the taste that lets it down. So it'll be very interesting to see whether there's much on the taste in these. But yeah, I'm getting Hellas vibes from this. I'm getting bread. I'm getting a little bit of marmalade. A little bit rusty, not rustic, but rusty. A bit of rust in there. Something a little bit savoury. They're almost like wafers. There's quite a complex nose, that. A little bit of, it's not quite right in the nose, but also, you know, there is a nose there. That's the thing. There is a nose there. Let's have a nose on this one now. Let's have a see what this one smells like. Well, that one's very different on the nose. It's more lemon and grass on that one. More floral, very light nose on that. God knows what the taste is going to be like, because the nose is very light. I didn't look at what the ABVs are on this. I know the Amstel was 3.4. I don't know about the Carters. I assume the Carters is 3.4 as well, but we can talk about that when I bring the cans back. It smells a little bit. This one does smell. This one smells very sweaty. Yeah, there's a bit of a pungency there in the aroma. But there is also quite a fresh fragrance over the top, almost like a citrus, a bit of a citrusy a fresh citrusy fragrance. They're very different on the nose, and there's a little bit of malt in there as well. So there we go. So this one's quite malty on the nose. This one's a bit more fresh and a bit more floral, but it's a little bit sweaty at the same time. So I'm going to start diving into these. I'll dive into this one first because there's more in it. So here we go. Cheers. Something flying around. Okay, so there's nothing there. On initial impression, I wish I could say there was. There's a bit of bitterness. Yeah, it's not much. Such a shame. By taking these beers below 4%, they're just sucking all the flavour out of them. It's like there's very little flavour in a lot of these. You're getting a bit of bitterness. It is quite crisp. If you're not into tasting your lagers, then if you're not into tasting your lagers, if you just like drinking pint after pint after pint because it's cold and it goes down easy, then yeah, it goes down easy. It's quite refreshing. It's not too fizzy, I suppose. Really trying to grasp for a bit of flavour. It just tastes like it's a beer. It's a lager that's been watered down. So disappointed. There's a little bit of malt in the flavour there. I mean, I know what you're thinking. What do you expect? I mean, come on, I'm doing cheap lager championship. These are the bottom of the barrel. I am scraping the bottom of the barrel and I'm comparing the bottom of the barrel. And most of these beers, they're not going to be good. They're not going to be anything resembling good. They're going to be flavourless and they're going to be rubbish. And that one is flavourless and it's not great. And I'm hoping this one's a bit better because otherwise I'm going to end up putting one through again, which doesn't deserve to go through. But remember, we've got that Excelsior. And that is going to take the place of another lager. Or I might taste it off against another lager. I'm not sure yet whether I should taste it off against the lager that it's possibly going to replace, or whether I should just shove it in there. So I don't know. I'll have a think about what to do there. I did have some water to rinse out with, but here we go. Let's rinse between the two. Okay, let's try this one then and see if it's any better. Cheers. So again, disappointing. It is, but there is something there. There is something in the taste. I'm trying to think. There is kind of like a wafery biscuitiness in the taste there. There is an aftertaste. There's a nice bit of a biscuity aftertaste there. It's quite soft in the mouthfeel. There's a little bit of bitterness. There is a nice aftertaste on it. There is a nice sort of biscuity, creamy aftertaste, but there's very little in the flavour. There is a little bit though, a little bit of lemon, a little bit grassy, but again, it just tastes watered down. These just both taste watered down. Like you take a 5% lager, a 5% bog standard lager, and just put some water in it. Essentially, that's what it tastes like. That's what they both taste like. Get a little bit more from this now. A little bit of that malt. There is more bitterness in this one. There's no aftertaste, so to speak of. This one, very mild flavour. It's smoother and more drinkable than that one, and there is a nice aftertaste. So there we go. I'm not going to drink these anymore now. I'm going to come to my verdict. That one's going through. That one it's got a little bit more flavour and it's got a much better aftertaste than that one. So I'd say it's a lot better than that one, but I'm not bigging this up at all. It's not great. So there you go. Yeah, but yeah, that aftertaste, I'm tasting it now. It does linger for a while. It is nice. It's very smooth. It goes down easy, and it's all right. It's all right. And I don't know which one's which, but I'm going to guess that that's the Carter's. just because it's a little bit lighter in colour and flavour. If that's the Amstel, then they've ruined it. I don't know. I don't remember disliking it as much as this, but yeah, there's a little bit in the flavour there now. I'm getting a little bit of orange, a little bit of tangerine, but yeah, that one's better. That one's going through. I think it's the Carter's. We'll find out in a minute. I think that's the Amstel. I'm going to come back and we'll find out if I was right. And the results are in, and I'm getting pretty good at this actually. Yes, this was the Carter's, so that's interesting because this was cheaper. What percent was this? Let's have a look. That's 3.4% as well. 3.4% seems to be the ABV they're going for really with this, because like the Amstel's 3.4%, the Carter's is 3.4%. The Carlsberg's 3.4%, the Morrison's one was 3.4%, that Tesco one was 3.4%, Coors is 3.4%. It's like 3.4% is almost like it's the new 4.5%, really. But taking it down has taken a lot of the flavour out of it, I think, because I remember Amstel having some flavour. Let's have it straight from the can. Well, it's weird, really, because these beers are better from the can. And I have had some of the ones that have been knocked out. I have actually drank them. I don't think I've sink poured anything yet. I sink poured a Madry. I know I did that, but I've not sink poured any of them yet because, you know, they're quite low in ABV. They're cold, they're wet, they're refreshing. So, and considering the weather's been quite hot recently, they've gone down quite easy, to be honest. And straight from the can, they're a lot better. Carter's, it's got a nice aftertaste, and really, I always thought it was like trying to be like Carlsberg, which you'd think so with the branding and everything, but it's got a mountain on there, so it's almost like maybe it's trying to be almost like a Coors. Because the flavour I'm getting from that is it does seem a little bit more kind of American kind of mountain lager. I don't know if that's a thing, but more like kind of Budweiser-y, Coorsy kind of flavours rather than, well, Carling flavours, but I don't know what they are because when I had the Carling I couldn't get any flavour from it whatsoever, let's face it. Amstel, yeah, premium Pilsner, really? Really? No, that's not a premium Pilsner by any chance. It's not a Pilsner, it's not premium, so both of those words are wrong in my opinion. This is quality lager beer. Quality, it's quite a subjective word really. It is lager and it's a beer, so at least 2 out of 3 words are right on that. 0 words are right on that. But what can I say? Yeah, Amstel, you kind of ruined it. Carter's, yeah, it's a really cheap Aldi lager, and for that, I think you're getting what you pay for. It's all right. There is a bit of flavour there. There is a bit of light lager flavour in there. It's got a nice little aftertaste. It's smooth and it's quite refreshing and it's not bad. Whether I will replace this or face this up with the Excelsior remains to be seen. I think I will have to do a taste test, a blind taste test with the... I do want to keep the Excelsior in, so I'm going to do a blind taste test with the Excelsior and one of the lagers in the bottom half. I don't know which one it's going to be, pardon me, at the moment, but I think I'll have to give these a chance because I wouldn't kick this out in place of the Excelsior. I don't think. I would give it a shot, but I'm hoping there's 2 more taste tests I think of the first round to go, so I'm hoping one of them is so poor that we can just whack the Excelsior in instead of it, and then we'll have a really good taste test. Because I'm feeling a bit more positive about this. There are some reasonable beers now in the quarterfinals, and we could end up with quite a good championship. So yeah. Anyway, there we go. We'll have to see, won't we? Anyway, that's enough of that. I'm gonna sort of finish off these now, and until next time, have a good one.